How do you determine an area to purchase in? Well, that comes down to a lot of different things. Now, we look at around 80 different metrics when it comes to actually sourcing and finding an area that we're going to be starting to look for properties in for clients. And they range of a large different amounts. But essentially, if you needed to just narrow it down to just a couple, I would say the biggest ones to always keep an eye on and look out for is one, affordability rate. There are a bunch of different metrics and different subscriptions that you can pay for that will actually produce this in the data. Really, it comes down to the census of the area of what is the median income that families and households have compared to the relative price of what they're paying on a mortgage and paying for a new home. Two is stock on market. Now, we want to be seeing the stock on market obviously declining inside an area because the less stock there is, the more demand there is. And that means that we know that people want to be there. At the end of the day, this is why we don't purchase in areas like Darwin and other stuff that a lot of people are purchasing in, is because the fundamentals are quite there for a lot of it. Yes, you can make money in the short term on it. Yes, you can do well out of it. I'm not saying that you can't do well out of it at the right times, but historically, if you look at it, it's not been the greatest of performers. And there's a lot of stagnant periods in a cycle inside of Darwin where you'll see zero to negative growth over the long-term period. It does have sporadic areas in data over the times where there has been massive jumps of 10, 20, 30+% in very short periods, but that's how they come. So unless you position yourself correctly, and we have already started to see large jumps in it, so if you are already in there, fair enough, get in there, get your money and get out. I'd probably only hold for maybe 1 to 2 years and wouldn't do a full cycle as it is, and then place my money somewhere else, somewhere a bit more long-term, somewhere a bit smarter, somewhere where the numbers and data make sense. Next one I'll be watching is population growth. If you want a market to continue to move and continue to populate, you want it to be an area where people want to go to live. Just because a bunch of investors are diving in for a couple 6 to 12 month time period doesn't mean that it's going to push it over the long term. Realistically, what pushes that long-term growth is the people that live there and occupy the homes. When we see this and we see that the numbers are much more geared towards the owner-occupiers being a higher percentage as opposed to renters, it means the areas that the families want to go live in, and that is where they want to have their dream and forever home to raise their kids. Those are the areas that we want to be purchasing in. Things that have good, strong fundamentals, things that have larger populations, things that have infrastructure, schools, hospitals, shopping centres, libraries, different council entities. Lastly, I look at government spending and infrastructure. The reason for that is that we want to be producing a multiple verse of jobs. So it comes down to the economy of the area is why are people moving there? People are moving there for jobs, other than unless, of course, there's only one industry that might be mining or something out the back of Broken Hill. That is not where you want to be. You want to be somewhere where the government is spending money. You want to be somewhere where the local businesses are spending money. You want to be the thing where people want to be setting up businesses and setting up shops and cafes and running different types of businesses in the area to help stimulate that economy, to help grow that area, to help make people want to live there. And the more people that want to live there, the more your property price will go up and the more value you will make over the long term. So always keep in mind the fundamentals and always look out for the biggest things. Of course, there is lots of different things that come into that, as well as zonings, as well as fire ratings, as well as flood zonings. All these different pieces also come into factors, but a couple of main big ones are just those few.